let him.
Well,
It
if
just,
we're gonna get a system, I'm not sure that Easy Cotton can't round those things off. Nobody,
oh, they can't.
They can.
They can't.
then we need to look into that.
We can do it.
You
When we
know,
get that HR person,
When
we
I
can fix
first
it.
got in office, I looked, y'all brought it up and I brought it.
That was cut
yeah,
down.
but Dan said, you know, he objected to it or something, for some reason, you know.
And he was the reason I brought it. He was the one who brought it up to me and said, we need a decision on it. So I put it on the agenda.
Well, we need to get it back on the, what did Dan, why did he object to that?
He was scared of the Department of Labor.
If someone did actually go to work at 5 minutes till, it would round them to, and they wouldn't get paid.
8 o'clock.
yeah. They clock in at 7:55, it would round to 8 o'clock, and they actually worked 5 minutes to get paid. And y'all said, well, we don't want to do that, somebody not get paid, and y'all made a motion and voted not to do it. And afterwards, I said the reason I put.
Sandy coming back?
Yes.
She might have already had all she wants.
Probably.
The workshop yet.
No.
Is he gonna be
I
on?
don't think he's gonna zoom in.
Are y'all in one of these with him today?
He is?
Have y'all decided on?
And this is the workshop, right?
I said y'all decided.
I
Oh,
thought
really?
she said he wasn't coming to this
Who ain't got?
one. I'm so confused.
We'll say hi to him. Then turn it loose. I don't think we need him.
Let the lady give a report on what he's done.
Yeah.
If he's done anything,
Y'all can decide afterwards.
if he's done anything in 2 weeks, we get a report on what he's done. They know he's done.
Yeah, he sent us a bill the other day.
You getting anything from him, Scott?
Scott, could you help Susan set that up? Go paper company. There he comes. No, that's you. That's you.
You know, I guess the only way to absolute accuracy. Who's ever entered what AI just going and correct everything that, if, in other words, if somebody clocks in 7 minutes till, 7 minutes till, 7 minutes till, and at the end of the work week, just add 40 hours, period. You correct each one of them to 8 hours, correct?
No.
Huh?
You're back to, did that guy log in at work 5 minutes earlier? He just
Yeah.
punched the clock when he went and sat down.
Well, the supervisor already knows.
Well, that's what happened. I did.
Yeah.
Clock in on
Right.
Monday. They
Right.
didn't log in.
Well, we did it at Morton, but it was rounded.
Mhm.
It's still rounded.
It said the system around it can be set up. And then I guess the supervisor, if he knows the guy works, he want to change. That'd be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Let the supervisor change it when he knows he works.
Right.
There he is. Okay.
So is there ever a trying to work with name back? Is that a requirement?
Okay.
Hey, everyone.
We've got Mr. Bass on Zoom. I call to order the workshop of the Van Zandt County Commissioners Court for December the 8th, 2021. at 11:06 a.m. Quorum is established with Commissioner LaPrade, Commissioner Melton, myself, Commissioner Pearson. Commissioner West is not able to be with us. He was here and had to leave, had an appointment. But we do have a quorum established for the workshop. No public comment, Scott. No public comment. And so the workshop is for Grant Works project. It's a Grant Works project workshop. Mr. Bath, would you like to address the court?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I per our last meeting, I sent out an email with the green light on the projects that we did discuss, including the file conversion, the other one, the file conversion, which would be the digitization of those course records, land records, and tax information, and then purchase of that cybersecurity software, and connecting to the minimum security jail, the jail project, and additionally the radio project. I have initiated the RFQ process, which is the request for qualifications for an engineer, per Commissioner LaPrada's request. So that isn't a commitment to doing that project. It's just getting in the engineer qualifications. It doesn't involve signing a contract. It's just a process of getting their qualifications in. And if you guys did want to pursue that radio project, we could start on that, because I know we are working with kind of a deadline for that radio project. Commissioner LaPrada mentioned that there was another grant for some 911 software, in which we would need to know by the 8th of August what radio equipment we would be using. But additionally, I knew there was some discussion amongst the commissioners last meeting on whether we did want to go forward with the radio project, but I'm just pushing forward with the RFQs, and we can back out of that if you want to. It's not a big deal, but I'm just getting started on the RFQ process as we are on an August deadline. So in regards to the radio project, did the commissioners court have any opportunity to discuss that? I know I heard a little bit of a dissent from another commissioner on moving that forward.
Yeah, we have not had the opportunity to sit down between the commissioners court and discuss it.
Okay.
We wanted to get an update from you and then discuss it between ourselves.
Okay.
Because we've been in plenty of meetings, but not for that.
No, I totally understand. I get it. Yeah. So again, that's just moving. I'm just have the RFQ process moving forward. It's just don't need to sign anything. It's just, we'll put an ad out in the paper and stuff, and see what fish land in our net, and then we can put the fish back in the pond or catch them and go with them. So that should take about a couple of weeks, I would say, to get those RFQs in from those engineers for the radio for the tower and radio equipment project. Additionally, I know there seems to be kind of a competition between the radio tower / equipment project and the jail project, as those would both be pretty expensive and eat up a lot of a couple of $6 million, kind of roughly, from what I heard from our last meeting, in terms of both those projects. So it sounds like we would need to kind of pursue one of those, unless you all were going to bolster. We could do both if you guys wanted to bolster with if you had additional grant revenue sources that you had, or county funds. I'm not sure, but I'll leave that discussion up to you. But those in terms of the big projects seem to be the two kind of paths that we would need to pick from if we were exclusively going to use our ARP funds.
Did you get that sketch that I sent you on the jail?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I did get that. And I ran it by our directors and yeah, we can, again, the jail project is good to go. If we want to pursue that, I checked with my directors. You know, I would just work with you to write it up. You know, kind of framing it as a COVID, you know, mitigation issue in terms of, there would be more space to have distance between the inmates, et cetera, et cetera. So.
Okay, that sketch that I sent you, it was just a rough sketch from a 2012 sketch. It was brought to us back in 2012, and you know, we didn't have any money to do that back then, and this is the only time we might have some money to do something to improve the jail. But that is not the, some of that sketch now has the jail standards. It probably won't fit with jail standards right now, so I'm in the process of getting that another new sketch.
Okay.
Yeah,
that would be good. Yeah, especially, you know, in terms of communicating the scope to the engineer if we're moving forward in terms of, you know, what we want to do.
What about an architect? We go out.
An architect?
Yes.
Oh yeah, or that also. Yeah. I mean, we could use the fund if we need a more thorough, you know, sketch. You know, we could totally use the funds to hire them and to draft up the specs.
Okay,
Addition-
anybody have any more questions for Mr. Bass?
Oh, additionally, I want to talk on. I'd like to speak on the other two requests regarding the digitation project and the cybersecurity. Did we want to move forward with those two projects at this very moment?
He's gonna know, he give us the green light been approved on the cybersecurity and digitizing the files of Karen's.
Yeah.
He's already, his question is, do we want to go ahead
I
and
think
then
so.
move forward on that?
I think so. You got, you think?
Be good to get that load off the fourth floor. But are we at a point where we're ready to do that, or we still want to get information and plan on that?
I think we should move forward on that, those projects.
Yeah.
What do you-
That's fine.
Doesn't matter to me. Okay, what I'm hearing is, yeah, you can, we can go ahead and probably need to go before Commissioner's Court, would it not? And how do they work out, Mr. Bass? Does all this stuff that we're approving or that we come up to, does it need to go into Commissioner's Court?
Yeah, that would be great. If you could pass a resolution just saying that you're pursuing these projects, correct? Yeah, just so that
And
the
go
public,
ahead. Yeah, gotcha.
so the public is aware of what's going on.
Okay.
What all is your next step on those last two projects?
So next steps, I have the procurement document from Sandy. So I'm getting my team to check that for 2 CFR 200 compliance. I'm not sure if the court is aware of this, but that's the 2 CFR 200 is the uniform guidance from the federal government in terms of how they want, when using federal funds, how they want purchases made. And they want purchases made in specific ways according to, you know, different price ranges. So if something's over $10,000, which is their micro purchase threshold, then, you know, we would need to go out and get 2 bids and check sam.gov for suspension and debarments of those parties and a couple of other things. You know, if it's above $250,000, we would need to solicit, you know, historically underutilized businesses for the construction projects and make sure that they're aware of the solicitation packet that's going out, kind of stuff like that. So, and also your procurement policy needs to kind of have all that stuff in it so that if there was an audit to take place, they might ask for, oh, what can we see your procurement policy? Just so that we have that base covered. So, sorry, that was kind of a detour, but essentially just kind of explaining what I'm doing with the procurement policy. I'm going to get it checked with our team and see if there's any amendments that need to be made to it to get it in line with the 2 CFR 200 compliance. And then we can go forward with the purchase and the procurement of that cybersecurity software. I'm not sure how much it would cost, but we'll get a rough estimate from the IT person because that'll inform us how to proceed. And then the digitization project also, because in terms of how much those estimated costs for how much those will be how we need to proceed with buying the software or purchasing a service of someone to come in and digitize the records. So that's kind of where I'm currently at.
Sent you the buy board, and we had the cooperative agreements for those two. Have you reviewed those to see if those are eligible, or?
I'm not sure if we will be able to use the buy boards because they aren't completely 2 CFR 200 compliance. And that is kind of the big, I would say that's the biggest kicker. The most important thing, in working with you all is ensuring 2 CFR 200 compliance.
Digitize went through the Texas Smart Buy, which is through the comptroller's office.
Excuse me, ma'am, could you repeat the question? I didn't.
Okay.
Or could someone echo it back?
The co-file went through the Texas Smart Buy, which is coming through the state comptroller's office.
So you're saying you've already purchased this?
No, we've sent you all that information.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. I have that information, yeah.
It's not through the buy board, it's through the state comptroller's office.
Okay, state comptroller's office, I see. Yeah, and this might be, with that in mind, it might be a single source procurement because they might be the only people that can do that. And if that's the case, then we don't need to do the bid, getting multiple bids, et cetera, if it's over $10,000. So I'll take a further look into this, but it could be a situation in which, these.
The co-file was about $850, and I think Scott was about $60. Yeah,
$850,000 or $850?
$850,000
Okay.
on the co-file.
Okay. But yeah, court, that's where I stand right now. I'm moving forward with getting that procurement manual checked out and seeing what we can do, what we should do to amend it, or maybe just, we have a template that we have here at GrantWorks that we can send to you to just pass as a resolution to adopt, for ARP funds. We, can put language in there that just says for ARP funds, we will be following this procurement manual here, and I can provide that to you. If it's the case that the manual that Sandy sent over to me is not 2 CFR 200 compliant.
Okay, who are you gonna send that to?
I'll be sending that to Sandy.
Okay. To put on the agenda?
Yes. Yeah, so when I do send it over to you, if you could pass it as, when we get to that point, just pass it as, put it on the agenda and pass it as a resolution.
Okay. Any other questions for, I think we have a representative present from Motorola. Do you have any questions? This is GrantWorks, the one that we hired to manage all of it. I didn't know if you had any questions or not.
No, sir. I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. Anything else, Sandy? Yeah, I think we're gonna stay, have some discussion. Okay, what are our projects? I think the big deal is we need to discuss broadband radios and jail construction.
Yeah.
I think that's where we're at,
Yeah.
And, okay, thank you for your time.
Yep.
Appreciate you. See you in 2 weeks.
Yep. Thank you, Gordon.
Thank you. Okay, so what I'm under, and I thought I've understood before, and I guess I didn't. I understood that we're moving forward. What I'm hearing is with cybersecurity and Karen's digitizing all that stuff upstairs.
Yep,
Now, that's gonna take about $1 million.
That's gonna take $1 million of it.
right.
Well, right now, he's just getting the information. We'll still have to vote to go ahead and do it.
He's starting forward with those.
Yeah, he's going forward.
Let's look at them for commission.
Yeah, we still gotta pass the
Still got a
resolution.
resolution.
Well, I'm saying, the first step is for him to get all the information together, to bring to us, for us to approve the deal.
Well, he's got all that, he's just gonna send it to Sandy, it's already.
Once we approve the resolution, then that'll be,
Yeah, that'd be the commissioner's court saying publicly. I mean, he's putting it, it's already put together, I
I
thought.
believe so, I think it's just gonna send the green light thing to Sandy and then Sandy.
Get it on the
He's
agenda.
got the quotes.
He's looking over the procurement policy right now. He's making sure that our procurement, our purchasing policy is compliant with the 2 CFR 200 for federal money.
Yeah, that's what I thought his next step was, make sure it was compliant and then send it to us for approval.
Right.
The procurement policy. And then he'll start on the co-file and the cybersecurity resolution.
Okay, and, whoa. From the understanding I had from the very beginning was on the, and I think we're going to have some discussion, is that, okay, broadband was mentioned, so we was going to tag broadband with towers and then work the radio system off those towers. But then I heard Virgil, he's not in the tower or don't
I
agree with
don't,
the
I had,
tower. And
you know, I
so,
don't know that we need the towers, for broadband or radio. I think that, the radios could, I don't know, you're from Motorola?
Yes, sir.
Now, can Motorola, use the present towers we have now for the radio system?
We did find some towers. We did find some towers that, that we could use. There's a rental cost associated with 3 of those or 2 of those. You're paying for one now, the one up Will's Point.
Right.
So there'll be additional costs for the one in Grant Saline, and then the one in Ben Wheeler.
Yeah, but will your system fit on the tower?
Yes, as far as we know, there may be a structural analysis to be done on those towers to verify that, but it should be. Yes.
So the structural analysis will tell you if the tower will support the microwave backhaul.
That's right. Yeah, the structural analysis will tell you what that tower is capable of, any additional equipment that can be on there, because they all have certain load rating. And we take all the equipment that we're, going to supply to that, whether it be microwaves, antenna, coax, all that's taken in consideration, whether that tower can handle that load. Yes,
Then after that, we pay rental to the company on the tower indefinitely
that's right.
at whatever rate they choose to charge us.
Yes, sir.
Well, I'm just wondering, would Harrison's, could they put their system on the present towers?
He's not even putting them on the present towers.
I'm sorry.
I said, you're not even putting them on the present towers. You're picking up 2 more rental towers and in
Yeah,
conjunction
but
with
I
our
mean, the
current.
towers that are built right now. He's putting on them, right? We're talking about the towers.
Yeah. Our conversations that we've had up until this point have been using the existing towers. And then that changed when the broadband came into place. Then we went out and did the site surveys at all the locations at your county barns to put up towers. I mean, yeah, we could put the equipment on the existing towers. Now, the only one in question is the one in Wills Point, where your existing equipment, well, the sheriff's department's existing equipment is now. That tower, it's got a lot on it. I would be surprised.
I think that Harrison has said they'd have to put a boot, a trunk on there, what's called a trunk, to use that tower.
We'll discuss that tower.
Yeah,
But
that,
something would have to be put, what would boost that tower's capability?
the one in Wills Point
Yes,
is you talking about is for to handle the equipment?
yes,
Sir, I don't know.
yeah.
I can't answer that question. I just know it's got a lot of equipment on it. And I would be blown away if they came back and said, yeah, we could add what we needed to add to it. It's just loaded up.
So that might be a place where we could put a new tower.
We're gonna have to put one there either way. It sounds like we're finding another rental.
Yeah, I mean,
Back on.
if there any spot,
We may have to own some towers. I don't know, I'm just trying to.
And you're talking 3 towers.
I'm just trying to
Sort it out.
sort it out here.
We was looking at 4 sites before. You're talking 3, you said.
well, so the one side in the southwest corner is the DPS tower. So we'll put equipment on there, and that's at no cost to you or the county. DPS has allowed us to put equipment on that tower at no cost. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's your area that we went and looked at the site. Was it?
Yeah.
We looked at his barn.
Commissioner's Mountain Barn, that's a tough site to put up. So luckily,
Since then, we've got another site, Mr. Bell, down there across from my county barn, has agreed to let us put a tower there. So that was.
oh, okay. So, I mean, I think that's a discussion that we could have in the fact that, do we use we could do maps and studies for that site. The new proposed site you're talking about, or the DPS site, which one would we get better, coverage from? Because, it's no cost to you using that DPS site. Is it tall enough? And yeah, everything, we'd need to do studies, compare those two. If you want to put up a new tower.
Well, you're back to building 2 towers, renting one in Grand Saline, one in Ben Wheeler.
Yeah, so the group, yes.
Either way, we're eliminating the broadband aspect of the project.
Couldn't put broadband on the present tower.
Well, if we build 2 towers, we could, but as far as the rental towers, that would be up to the rental owner.
That would be up to the, yeah.
You're increasing the,
And your rental,
the recurring.
yeah,
going on.
every time you put something on it, you're gonna get recurring costs.
So you're gonna build up the incurring costs for the next 10 years or whatever.
So who's all of our broadband providers here? And I know CIP
CIP,
and what is it? Zeno
there's
and
I don't
Next Cellular.
think Zito, I don't think there's.
They just do Canada.
Peoples might, Peoples are looking at doing fiber all throughout Canton. I've heard things about Nextlink, but I've never spoken to them. There's a few others.
So
There's
people
4 or 5 of them for
Net-
or something.
Net Cellular. So I just wondered, has any of those providers contacted these present towers to see if they can rent?
I don't know. They haven't talked to us about it.
Yeah, Margaret
CPI
come to me,
brand it.
and Margaret talked to me, said, why is CIP the only one? And I said, well, I went to Rusty. Rusty said he didn't want me to put Scott on it. And I said, so I asked Scott to be part of the committee that EdCog was telling us to do. And I said, Scott said, you need to contact CIP. And, because Scott told me, he said they're head and shoulders of.
They've done the groundwork. They had the mapping and they had they know where everybody's towers are. They know everything. They've been very proactive on it.
So they know why aren't they?
But they came to us. They came to us to work
Right,
and got all.
They got the
approved
tower,
that's
and we approved
3 or 4 years
that.
ago.
yep.
No other provider has been proactive and come to us.
So they know where the tires are,
They know, yeah,
but
they know
they,
everybody's everything.
but they're not utilizing.
Maybe engineering or cost-effective reasons that they're not. They have little circles showing all their coverage locations and how they overlap. And that's really their business. I don't. It's complicated.
Well, we got into the broadband originally because we didn't know if our radio system was qualified for this grant without including the broadband.
Yeah.
And I still haven't, and I probably should have asked Mr. Pat, will our radio system qualify for this grant without the broadband? We've got to find that out, number one.
I think it will.
Okay,
And that's what I've heard so far. I think the radio system, if you did the radio system standalone without being tied to broadband, because it's for first responders, first responders, being dispatched for, because it has to be tied to COVID and everything. And they're still checking on that.
And I think the other thing y'all have to think about is this money was given to Van Zandt County for the people.
That's right.
And when COVID hits again, if it does, and we hope it don't, and all these children have to go back home, your job is to take that money and ensure that they have internet in their homes, and y'all are totally eliminating that there. And that's what the money was given to you for.
that's right.
Plus the remote health.
I mean,
That's right.
So that was where the towers that come into play was to get that internet out
the
there.
money was
It
given
was
to
just
the
beneficial to
people,
put the radios
not
on.
the county.
I agree.
I wish they had to give it to the people.
I wish they had it too.
And so that's why Chad's be looking at putting in the tower, not that we want to get in the tower business, but to have the availability that we could say, not only just to CIP, but to any internet company, hey, we'll make you a deal to use our tower out there. You know, and it'd be because we got it through this grant money, we could give them a really good discount. They'd still have to pay us to get on it, to cover our not to make money, but to cover our costs of it, you know.
Really, their coverage, especially precinct 3, that's their based in Wills Point. So their coverage in Wills Point is almost perfect.
Yeah.
Precinct 1 is really good. I mean, you've got some dead spots some places, but
Precinct 2.
precinct 2 and precinct 4
Yeah, your people
are the
benefit the
most
most from it.
underserved precincts of the county.
Well, then too, Henderson County's building a new tower down there. We could piggyback off of Henderson County's tower.
It wouldn't locate the broadband center in your precinct though.
And if we get on anybody else's tower, we get on, we'll fix our radio. But there again, like Sandy said, that won't benefit the people as far as getting in, trying to get internet service to everybody in our county.
Plus,
The
right
only
now,
way we're gonna be able to do that is to put in our own towers, because we can't say there's a state of Texas tower down there, highway department, CIP, go get on it. State of Texas ain't gonna let them get on it.
And there's other benefits on the radio side of it too, because if you're doing broadband, all they do is break fiber to the tower. And that gives you a backup to your backhaul system. You got microwave and fiber that helps with that. And if it's an internet company, you get internet at the site so they can log in and work on their radio equipment. There's a lot of benefits to both projects.
it pays your maintenance. That grant mitigates your maintenance.
Wouldn't people need internet? Wouldn't people need towers too?
They will.
To put their system in?
People
We're gonna-
can rent space on our towers just like anybody else. I mean, it's open to anyone.
Yeah, we're not saying CIP, this is exclusively yours. I'm saying here's a tower.
Yeah, he's good on that, but, and
Chad,
that,
what were you telling me about us just giving money to Eggnog and letting them do the tower? What was that?
I'm waiting on information back from that. That was, remember at that conference we went to, the guy that spoke about American Rescue Funding money said what a lot of them done on the broadband side was they work with their local COG and let them, in our situation, would be to let them build the towers. And us just take the money and set it to them and they go through all the legal processes and everything, jump through the hoops. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. So I had never heard that. So bringing that up, I mean, would that, so they would belong to that co-op? I mean, I think if they did the project, it would belong to them, that take the upkeep costs away from you, but on the other hand, I'm just thinking, any revenue that you can generate from those towers, whether it be, broadband sale systems, then you wouldn't benefit from those too, so it's a.
And then you're back to this initial cost of, if we put in the towers ourselves, our initial cost is gonna go up, but we're gonna save him not having to rent. You go back to EdCog, then the EdCog comes back up here in 5 years and say, hey, we're gonna charge you $1,000 a month to be on that antenna. You're going to pay it, or you're going to go move, you're going to go build your antenna.
You get three or four.
That is controlled by your executive committee down there, which we have a member on, and that's, so.
But I did make a phone
They would
call.
do that, but there's a possibility.
Yes, sir.
When I called to talk about it, the lady that was over there said, I haven't heard of that. Let me do some research and call you back, and I'm still waiting for the call back. It's been 3 days. Working days.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying we may need some towers.
Yes.
Because I don't see private enterprise building any power, because they want us to do it, and they want the benefit of it.
And they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg to get on it.
Russ has been texting me these companies that are broadband and other ideas, so I just want to come up here. But you get 3 or 4, even 2 or 3 providers hanging on your tower, they're gonna pay your maintenance fee with the rent, So your recurring cost is gonna be covered. Rather than renting, you're gonna be paying that rent. You don't know how much it's gonna go up in the future. You're kind of at their mercy. Because you already got your stuff hanging there. They could go up.
Yeah.
They know you're not gonna move your stuff.
There's a guy down there willing to let us put a tower. Now, the problem is when you put them towers on property, and I read a deal from Listserv, if they're allowing you to put a tower on their property, and then their property gets in foreclosure. Where you at the,
Or they sell their property.
or they sell their property.
Or they pass away and it goes to.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
You
that
get
would
an
be-
easement for those towers?
I don't know.
They want to make us have something solid before we build it. They're not gonna let us build it out.
They may even leave the property to the county.
And I think Mr. Bill was looking at a monthly rental.
Or was he?
I don't think he was
Oh, I
looking
thought he
at.
was gonna give it to us.
Oh, I think he was looking at a monthly rental.
Oh, boy.
I think he was looking at like the cell
Oh, they're looking
tower.
for- Yeah, if they won't pay, if they don't pay rent, I've got some
Oh,
problems.
good gosh.
I second that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
I'm definitely up for it.
Yeah.
And that's why, when I look at it, I'm thinking, okay, the county, I'm looking from a county standpoint. You'd be probably better off to own your towers, you control it.
You
If
control
you
your
own the
destiny.
towers, you control it. You agree with that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, you're
Because-
saying, yes.
You have the tower, you control your own destiny.
Initial
It's your
cost
property,
goes
you
up,
do what
you
you want.
control.
That's right. The cost goes up, but you control it. If you don't, then you're into everybody else's person.
I mean, if you have the, and I'm using this very loosely, so if you have that upfront cost to put up the tower, if you have that money, in the long run, it may be beneficial.
Yeah.
And I was trying to remember, I don't know exactly, but I was trying to remember the Ben Wheeler Tower, the rent on that was, I want to say roughly, I want to say it was like $900 a month. That is incredible for a rental tower, okay? The one.
Incredible cheap or incredible high?
It seems high.
I know it says incredible cheap or incredible high, which is it?
Which is it? Is it a
No,
good
it's
deal?
incredible low. That's low.
Okay.
No, that's not high at all. No, it's a regular lawn tower. The one in Grand Saline was substantial more, and I don't remember the exact number, but I know it was 1,600 at least, if not a little bit more per month. And that is not terrible bad, because I've called American Tower before from different towers, and it's $2,200 for one stick and coax. and you don't, and then you don't get in their building. So there's another part of that equation that some of them won't let you inside their gate. You have to put their structure or your equipment somewhere outside the gate, or some of them will. Grand Saline was okay, I think they were okay, let's put a small cabinet to put the equipment in.
What about generators?
I'm sorry?
What about generators, power backup?
Well, generate, see, that's it. You may not have that, because you may not be able to hook to their equipment. And there's a lot of variables there, so.
$50,000 rent, paying rent on towers.
Without.
When you have opportunity, you got the money to build your own towers.
That's right. And that's what I'm
Control
saying.
your distance.
That's right.
Because if you get on some of those towers, that's at least say 3 or 5 years, those 3 or 5 years, you've got everything tied into it, they go up and double it.
You don't have no choice but to
You
pay
don't
it.
try to pull all that equipment and then go adjust everybody.
And figure out where to go with it.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to sway
Oh, I hear you.
either way.
That's what
I'm
we're
just-
sitting here trying to decide, okay, we're
We're fat gathering.
I'm using my experience, what I've dealt with in the past. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trying to sway either way, so I'm not.
So let me ask you, being as though you're not trying to sway us, if it was your choice and your choice only, would you rent towers or would you own towers?
If I had the funds to do it, I would put up new towers. If I had the money there, I knew I could do it, it's one and done. You put your equipment in a building, you put a little building, you're maintaining it, everything's there. And you could start putting out feelers for revenue, it's a revenue. I'm not sure how that would work with the county, but I'm sure it could work out something where if a sale company wants to come in, because they will pay.
And I hear what Sandy's saying, that the money was for the people and stuff.
Right.
When you dial 911 and you don't have communication,
Yeah,
and you've got someone that don't have oxygen and they need to get to the hospital, I think that's money spent for the people.
yes.
I mean, I would sit and discuss that and debate it all day.
Like CIP, they got their phone service going through their Wi-Fi, or their wireless in the country. That's one of their packages that they offer. So if you got somebody out in the country that doesn't have good cell service, they would also get benefit from dialing 911 through that better internet connection.
Right. So we can get them internet and we can get them emergency services in one move.
Yeah, if you own the towers, you can have internet. I don't, if what would be the cost on that?
What's that?
If you got broadband on those towers, it wouldn't cost the
It
county.
won't
any
cost
money,
us
would it?
No, that'd be revenue, that'd be revenue.
Making an avenue
Yeah,
for
in a local
people to
agreement,
get.
and that don't cost us anything, it gets them the internet, in case we have to
It
go
gives
back.
them the internet if they can afford it.
If they can afford it.
Right.
that's right.
If they can afford it.
But it makes it
But you
available.
gotta
when they got the
understand,
chance.
if a CIP company, gets on a tower that they're getting a real good savings on the rent, I promise you, they're gonna pass that on to their people because the competition's out there. You know, they're gonna pass that on to get that customer.
CIP is pretty competitive in price of it, and they offer the same up and down, unlike a lot of.
So- So with the money we have, we've spent, I mean, in my head, I'm thinking we spent $1 million today.
That's
We
right.
spent $1 million of the 11. Okay, can we do the radios, the internet, and the jail for the $10 million? Can't, I mean,
I don't think you can do all three projects.
you can't do all three.
Well, we don't know, we ain't got.
We ain't got
we
no
ain't
official
got-
bids back.
We need a price, yeah, we
We ain't
need
got
to
a
be.
cost of the jail, we ain't got a cost.
We haven't got anything narrowed down as far as specs. I mean, because we've just been going by what just a conversation, here's what we can provide. So we
Want the engineer to do that?
That's what we're engineers
That's what
for.
they're to do.
That's why we're getting him to get us a
Well,
set
that was
spec.
my question. So when I wrote down engineer, so you're gonna hire, so in this process, you're gonna put an engineer in place to come up and do the specs. Is that right?
That's
Okay.
one of the hoops they require us to go through that federal
And I
money.
totally agree with that. Right. we have to have it. So it is, I mean, equal playing field.
So we don't have enough money for all of them. What's your priorities in?
Well, the priorities has got to be the radios.
Okay, because you can, and the broadband would be no cost to the county. So you do the towers and the radios, and you go down that road to a point and figure out, okay, we're getting the cyber and Karen, the files. And then Tim told me the other day that he didn't think that would be a $6 million project at the jail.
It may not.
It may
I
come
don't
in
know.
low. Yeah, we don't know.
Don't know.
Let me ask you just this question at the jail, and I've had it pop to me from several different people.
Uh-huh.
We can't staff the jail we have now. We're having to outsource our prisoner, our
Inmates.
people, because we don't have staff. You build a bigger jail, how you gonna staff it?
Plus
You're still gonna be putting your people in Henderson County.
Well, there's going to come a day when we will have to use a bigger jail. That's coming.
But if you can't
And
staff it,
well, there's going to come a day when we will have to staff it.
how you gonna staff it?
We got the money right now to staff it. How much we got right now? We got $7 million in
Well, they
general
just took
fund.
250,000 from the jail and give it to upper echelon.
Yeah.
They
That's
had
what
the
I'm saying. So
money to
there's-
give it to them, but they chose to give raises to the to the chiefs. I mean, we had the money there.
There were 7 down, I think they hired 2 this week, so there's still 5.
And I mean, they keep telling you, in Smith County, all these counties that pay a lot more than us can't even get people hired.
Right.
It's not the money. And that, to me, you should do your radio first, and then let's see how much money we have.
Well, and I'm not opposed to that. I'm not opposed. I said that we needed to do radio first. Let me ask you this. Why don't Motorola build their own towers?
Well, we contract a company to do that. Motorola's not in the tower business, but we contract another company to build the tower.
Well, if you wanted to put your business in a certain county, why wouldn't you contract to build a tower? Put your equipment on it.
Yeah, and I mean, it'll be a package. We'll do it all together. We can do the towers. It's just not a Motorola company. It's a contract.
Actually, I only want to lean toward bidding the tower separate from the radio program, because if he bids it, he's gonna get a management fee, and it's gonna run the price up versus another. He can have his other company come bid it, they may be the cheapest bidder on it. It'll save us money to bid the two separately.
And we could do, I think we could do that. We could do the tower separate. It's a radio, we could do that. We could separate it. As far as I know, we could do that. That's not a problem.
But you're gonna be back tied in at somebody else's mercy on that tire because you don't own it.
Well, what I was talking about was if we move forward doing towers, when we go out for bid, we don't just do one bid radios and towers, we do a bid towers, a bid radio.
Oh, yeah,
Separate.
Yeah.
yeah. That's what I've said all along. I don't know why this is so confusing. Tell me what it's gonna cost for that radio, whether it's my tire or somebody else's tire. So I know what that radio system costs. Then I'll go find out what it costs, whether I wanna build a tire of my own or get on somebody else's. Yeah,
Wonder how soon it would take to find out how much it would cost to build radio and towers.
We gotta get the engineer, we gotta get the specs, then we gotta get the RFPs, that's when we'll know.
Yeah.
I mean, Chad's wanting to have this in place. We had to have it in place before August.
We gotta have the RFPs and know which direction we're going, so we know what to do with dispatch. And dispatch has gotta be completed by August,
so we don't lose
so we
$500,000.
don't lose that $500,000 on it.
Is
So
that from ESCO?
that's
Yeah.
definitely.
Yes,
And the pace we're at, by February, we ought to know if we decide to do the radios, this is the direction we're going. And then dispatch and go, we can come back and work on a radio system. We got till 2026.
it's just gonna take us doing just like we did on the file and cyber, telling him, here's where we're going. Get us some information.
And that's what we've done so far. It's why he's working on that RFQ for the engineer. He's heading that direction. So we're, even as we're debating, we're moving forward.
Well, I don't know that we can move forward with the jail project until we find out how much. it's gonna
But we
be.
got
But it
5
wouldn't
years.
hurt, it still wouldn't hurt to get Gary Adams and them, if you get a drawing. I think Gary
I've got
can do a
another
drawing
sketch, I've got another sketch.
and get a price on it. At least you know what you're looking at.
But you're gonna have to do the engineer, everything on that project too,
Yeah, you're right.
you know. Gary Adams may not get the project, you know.
Well, he may not.
That's correct. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, you're going to have to run all that jail stuff's got to go through jail standards. I mean, all that.
And that's why he's giving me another sketch that's gonna be in compliance with jail standards.
Yeah,
But you have to be real careful and not let a vendor that's gonna bid on it control you. It has, you know, I read that the other day in that NACO stuff, you know. You don't want people that's gonna bid on your project,
Leave.
yeah. You know, you can get in trouble there.
Yeah, you want to engineer the tower system, whether, no matter whose radios can be on. Which one is that, you're saying you'll split the tower part from the radio part.
That's right.
Yeah, no matter what vendor goes on, the tire's gonna hold.
Now, any radios.
That's right.
Yeah. And so you'll have, you have your tires engineered, you'll have your radio system engineered, and you're going out for bid on both of them.
Does Groundworks know that you're splitting that?
I don't think he does.
No, that was what we had to have a meeting for.
Yeah, we had to have this meeting come to some kind of consensus.
Agreement.
I mean,
So we've done that after next meeting.
yeah, we tell them 2 weeks.
We're going to find out those costs and see what's going to cost and see how much money we have left. If that's what we want to put radios priority over jail. And then when we see how much money we have left, then we're going to see how we can fix that jail.
Even if we do have enough money to do some modifications
Yes,
to
sir.
update.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And
we have some money in the reserve. that
that's right, we've got money
we can
that
help
if
with.
we come up $1 million short, we'd say, okay, all we gotta do is have a vote of the commissioner court, okay, we're gonna use this money and we're gonna throw in $1 million of the reserve money.
So like $100.
Yeah, I thought,
Depends on how prices out.
The main thing you.
now
don't
the sheriff
need that
does not,
money back.
the sheriff does not support the jail.
Well, he wants a new jail, but
Yeah.
that's sometime in the future, and we just got out of date.
I hadn't,
And now he wants a new jail,
I hadn't
you
been a
know.
sheriff that didn't want one.
I mean, and I agree, sometime in the future, there probably needs to be a new jail, but we're gonna have to me, we're gonna have to buy some land, we're gonna put a jail, the criminal district clerk, the county district clerk, and the courts all together in one system.
So if you buy it, there's,
That's what I'm
do
saying.
you stay in the same location?
What?
Because you can buy land right now, and that jail was built, Gary Adams said that jail was built, like right here, just to flip it over in that hallway and everything. You buy the land from the property owner beside it, and you go out and build. Right now, I mean, you got, or do you? or do you-
There's a library right next to it.
Do what?
There's a lot of land behind the library. Right?
We don't own that land.
Yeah.
Oh, city owns that?
City of.
We don't
No, well, the city doesn't, the city owns part of it, but right behind the jail is the,
Oh, yeah.
that's, we tried to buy that land, or we made some inquiries about it several years ago.
You're talking about to the west of,
Yes,
to the west of it.
no, that'd be to the north,
Or right due behind it,
yeah.
we own that.
I'm talking about past the fence line, past,
Okay.
Behind the Pickens building, the Belmont building.
No, he's going.
No, he's going behind,
No.
behind all their parked cars, behind that fence, go to the property line going north. And then
Behind
go,
the junk.
yeah, behind all the junk. Go,
anyway,
yeah,
I know the sheriff doesn't want, he wants a new jail, but I mean, I just,
Well,
I don't see that anytime
my
soon.
deal is, why do you need to do, and you get them rumors, well, the plumbing, what's wrong? Has it stopped up? What's the issues? But He's the sheriff, gotta have a new judge. And
You're inevitably sooner or later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to, no doubt about it.
And I think putting the judicial complex with it is a great
That's
idea.
that's the only way to do it. If we ever build another system, is put the complex all together.
courthouse, jail, everything. I think you're gonna have to-
The criminal district clerk, county district, criminal district clerk, the courts, and the jail. And you need to have a way to get out of the jail, come
You figure
underneath
that
the
out.
courts, and come up.
I hope I'm retired.
I'm going.
You know what? There's a plan on that I helped draw up, that I've got somewhere. When I don't know, 2008, 2009, when we were talking about jails and what have you. But you gotta have that system together.
I think right now we just need to move forward with the project, the radio and whatever.
Well, we got the two that we give the green light to. We'll approve it through court. And then what I'm hearing from the court is that we'll go with the radio, broadband, radio, towers. And then I still think you're gonna have money left. I think you're gonna have some money left for the jail. Yes, sir.
So question, so if you move forward on the tower, are you looking at 3 and utilizing the DPS tower?
I'm looking at 4 if you're including
You're looking
broadband.
at 4, so you want to look at 4, okay?
Because we couldn't use DPS for broadband,
No.
they wouldn't let us.
Section about DPS is allowed you to think. Wouldn't they, well, I mean, that's, if CIT could use DPS tower, they'd be on it right now.
Well, are they using these other towers right now?
The location ain't real.
Not the same.
You know?
The location ain't real good for it, because it's actually just across the county line.
Right.
So trying to get broadband out through the
They're
city
usually
center.
Huh?
They're usually the city of Kansas.
Well, yeah, right.
I got people who agree with that. I don't know about DPS. I really down the state.
I doubt it too.
Okay, there's none. I think that helped me understand some of where we're headed, or where we're headed. All minds clear? Other than keys, his is never clear.
Appreciate you coming and answering
Never clear
questions.
or ever clear.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah. We made it to bid on it.
Yeah, we may,
Oh, yeah,
we'll have
You
another
get a
workshop
chance to
2
bid on
weeks
it.
from today.
Yes, sir.
We have a
That's all I
workshop
want.
on
I guess just a chance to bid.
Yeah,
grant work.
That's the whole idea.
Tell us where you're at,
Yeah.
where we're thinking and everything, but I do appreciate you being here. Thank you guys. Scott,
Thank you.
Sandy, thank y'all. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I do.
Second, I'll second it. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Aye. We're adjourned.
I motion.
Any motion, I second.